Celebrate your victories, but don't become too, you never want to be that person who's always talking about, well, 5 years ago, I was a BJJ, you know? Celebrate your victories, but don't become too obsessed with them because that is already, as your coach said, it's in the past. Now trying to focus on the future. You never want to be that person who's always talking about, well, 5 years ago, I was a BJJ, you know, I was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu World Championship. Like, that was in the past. Have you ever had that friend from high school? It's like, in high school, I was the cool guy. In high school,
Right.
I'm like, dude, don't you have any other achievements to talk about? We're talking about now. That was in the past, great. We give you your flowers, amazing, congratulations. But what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Because the reason for that is like success, when you achieve something at that level, it can make you really soft. It makes
Yeah.
you really soft, very complacent, and you get comfortable.
Yeah.
And the movie I like referencing is Christopher Nolan's Batman. I think it was The Dark Knight Rises, I think. I can't remember exactly. The Dark Knight of The Dark Knight Rises, the one with Bane, Tom Hardy's Bane.
Yeah.
And then, Bruce Batman is fighting Bane in the sewers, I think. And Batman cuts the lights. And he was like, oh, you think darkness is your ally? I'll insert the clip for people want to hear it. It's like, you think darkness is your ally. Well, I was born in the dark, raised in the dark, molded by the dark. I didn't know the light till I was a grown man, right? And it was like, victory has already defeated you. The winner of this fight has already been chosen, and it's me, because you think you're the Batman, you think you're amazing, you think you've won. You've gotten comfortable, you've gotten weak, you've gotten complacent. I'm still in the dark, I'm in the dirt grinding, and
Yeah.
you think you've won, which was in the past, and because of that I will beat you you know So yeah, it's important. I think even Daniel Kaluuya won an Oscar for his performance in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh, wow.
I haven't watched that, but he got the
Me neither.
yeah, he got the award. He was like, "Thank you so much. Now back to work." That's what he said.
Yeah.
Back to work. You know.
Yeah. Can I be really honest with you, homie? Like, as much as, yes, well done and back to work, we cannot forget that it's something that we achieved, It
Exactly.
has to be celebrated,
Mhm.
and yes, I'm grateful that my coach did this, because now, thinking about it and getting back to it, I'm starting to understand that the reason why he did that is because he knew that I could not handle with the mindset I had. He knew I could not handle such a title.
Mhm.
It would get in my head, and that's the thing. When you achieve something, like I said, I didn't want. I didn't plan to become a world champion. I prepared to be a world champion, but considering that not everyone is, I never thought I would be one. I just went with luck.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point sometimes in life that you want something so bad that you would give everything that you have to have it. But sometimes we desire something with such a force, and we get it.
Mhm.
And after we got it, you have two choices. You have to live with it regardless. You have the choice to admit who you are now, or you have the choice to feel entitled of living because of who you are, you know?
Mhm.
And and you need to know, there's a lot of people that get to that point. Let's say you want to be a UFC champion. You dream of that, you work hard for that, You even become so closed-minded, and all you focus is that you train, you sleep, you eat, you recover. You train, you sleep, you eat, you recover. For
Yeah.
God knows how long.
Yeah.
Eventually, you become a UFC champion. You're gonna sit on your bed with that belt on your hand. First, it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel good when you're around people, because people's gonna praise you, cheer for you. But then it's gonna come to a point that you're gonna be alone. And you're gonna sit in your bed with your belt in your hand, and you're gonna question, what now? If that's
Powerful.
all I ever wanted to be, what am I going to be right now?
Exactly. You
You
think
know?
you get to that point, you're like, "Ah, but I'm here. So
Yeah.
is it,
Is that it? Is that how it makes you feel? Is that
yeah,
all? Is that
yeah.
all that is?
It
And some
speaks
people,
it
yeah,
speaks a lot to the journey. And I know you and I had this conversation the one time
yeah,
when we were talking about the movie Soul, especially like that time when uh the main character Joe Gardner
yeah,
finally performed. He was in the zone, the piano, he did it,
yeah.
and he thought this was his big break. And then he walks out of the studio and he was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Is this it? I thought it would be. And I can't remember the female character's name.
So the female cat, so he said to her,
Yeah.
I've been waiting my whole life for this moment.
Mhm.
I thought I would feel different. And then Dorothy Williams says to him, I heard a story about this young fish. He came to this older fish and said, I'm trying to find this thing they call the ocean. The ocean? Says the older fish. That's right. That's what you are right in. Oh, that's what you are in right now. This, says the younger fish, this is water. What I want is the ocean.
Yeah. And people don't realize that the moments you're waiting for,
Yeah,
the emotions you think you experience at the top of a mountain are the obstacles and the things it's the what you think you feel at the peak of the mountain is what you experience on the climb, you know.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what that's just saying, that you think that once you get it and you question yourself, this is it, what more, why don't I feel a certain way, and you just come back and do it
yeah,
all over again. And just like you said a couple minutes ago, just being just
yeah.
being being
Last
in life.
year
Yeah.
last year, I
Mhm.
went through an existential crisis.
Mhm. What happened?
And I I achieved everything I wanted to achieve.
Mhm.
I went through the exact same thing. I wanted something so bad in life, so many things so bad in life, and I got all of them. And then I was lying in my bed, crying and asking myself, why? Why is there that I feel this way? You know, and why is what is going to happen right now if that's all that I thought that there was? So I went through a really tough time accepting that what I wanted the most wasn't enough for me. That's the conclusion that I came to, and that I could. It's not that it wasn't enough. It's just that what really happened. Now that I'm talking to you, I'm really realizing this. What really happened is my definition of biggest dream of my life upgraded, and I didn't realize it.
Oh, it's like playing a video game when you've beaten the boss at the boss level, and then you're in this next level, and you're like, how come I have to do it all again? Like when you
Yeah,
get when you
yeah,
get to another level, you unlock another level. That's what
yeah,
happens.
yeah. It is how life works. It's an endless level unlocking system.
Exactly. As long as you're
Yeah,
alive, treat it like a game. Upgrade,
yeah,
unlock the levels.
yeah. It's interesting because I was talking to my friend, my housemate this morning about this,
Uh,
because I couldn't understand something that is going on in my life, and she said like there is levels of consciousness that you're going to go through in life. You never go down. You're always going up. You're always getting higher. And it's gonna come to a point in your life that in each level, you have each task to be completed. You have each people to help you manage this level. It's
mm,
just like a game, literally
yeah,
like a video game, you
literally.
know?
Yeah, you realize that, the bottom of the peak of one mountain is the bottom or the starting point of another mountain.
Yeah,
You just have to
yeah,
unlock that level. And as long as you're alive, you have to keep unlocking levels and going through life.
yeah,
And again, just to go back to what we said earlier, while you're in the garden battling it out as a warrior, enjoy, the process
yeah,
of going through that level. And I think
yes,
the emotions that we look for are in the process. Stop once in a while, like, wow, I'm actually doing this, and you
yeah,
feel what you feel. It's because you think you're gonna save feeling a certain way till you get it, and you realize, why don't I feel like this? Like you said, you were
yeah,
crying about it and you couldn't understand why. So I think to, of course, maybe as an individual, you need to go through this to realize what we're saying. And at the same time, you can also learn from us and realize that, hey, I can I can celebrate now in the journey, get so obsessed with the journey, with the process. And
yeah,
then when you get to that new level, you're not disappointed. You're like, oh, I get to experience another level where I experience all these amazing things
yeah.
that life has to offer again.
It's never endless. You
Yeah.
can, if there's so much that we can, the reason why we are meant to be one, there's this thing that I discovered recently. I think we spoke about it,
Mhm.
the twin flame and everything. And what it makes me realize is human beings, when we were created, and this is my own definition, guys, when we were created, we were we had four legs, let's put it that way, four arms and two faces, spiritually.
Ooh, I didn't expect you to go that way, but
Yeah.
that
And it was too
definitely good hit.
much,
Uh-huh.
it was too much for ourselves. Even we didn't know how to handle such a power, so we had to be split in half so we could find ways to create this half that we are into one. So therefore, eventually, we will find this other one, and we can make it a one, like a big one.
I like it. And then you bring one and one together. What do you get? A big one.
A big one. Yes, you don't get Ulu, you get a big
Big
one.
one. I like that. Okay, that's one of the life lessons I'm teaching my kids. One plus one, what do you get? A big
A
one.
big one.
And
Yeah.
you're so right, and it's like we're making fun of it right now, like we're just having fun with it. But basically what you're saying is that, with yourself, be as complete and as one and as whole as possible. And then when you
Yeah.
meet other person or other people that help you throughout your journey, then you make what we call a big
The big
one.
one. Yes. Yes. I agree 100%, brother. I agree.
I love that.
Like
I love that.
if you put it in relationships actually wasn't my best thriving area in my life. I did have a pretty like long term relationships, but at the same time they were pretty heartbroken and intense, because every single person that I met, it's just that none of us were one. you know. We will always try to either make it up, compromise. Guys, if you want to be in a successful relationship with somebody, there is no compromising. You have to be one. You have to accept the fact that you made a commitment. Commitment. Everything comes down to commitment. Commitment to yourself, to what you believe that this person is for you. Therefore, you will never do things to hurt that person, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how we got
This-
into this topic, but
but I like it. It's a very big topic. It's the big one, you know. And
Mhm.
you're so right, you know, like not trying to demand from each other, you know, fill my cup, make me complete. Oh no, you fill my cup, make
Yeah.
me complete.
Uh-uh.
You know, be complete and then together come together in your oneness and create the big one. And
Yes.
you know, it's difficult, and it's something that I'm still learning, guys. We're talking about this. We're just sharing our journey to this point, and
Mm-hmm.
hey, we're not even that old, dude. I'm quarter of a century old. I'm nearly 25.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much more for me to learn, and you know, this is what we've learned so far, and you know, we are not, you know, we're two people who love to grow, so our you know, interpretations or ideas and notions about things and beliefs might change and evolve as well. That's also fine. We're just sharing with
Yeah.
you what we're experiencing now and what we have. And yeah, our relationships are um, incredibly difficult. They take a
Mm-hmm.
lot of learning, a lot of self-awareness, but never like just try, not never, but try your best to be as whole as possible
Yeah.
as an
Be
individual
true
and
to
not
yourself. Yeah.
exactly and not try to get the other person to make you feel some type of way. It's like that thing with the goal. You think that outside thing, that achievement is going to make you feel, yeah, for a moment, for a second, for a day, 2 days, it will. But then you get to the point, why am I no longer happy? You know, so it's going
Yeah.
within yourself to define that
Yeah.
happiness and being complete and being whole, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense, man. Like we could definitely go on and on about this, man. Like
Right?
it's amazing. But anyway, man, like there we dropped a lot of gems in this, and I guess the audience is also dying to hear about, you know, I think if the episode gets too long, we'll just split it here, okay, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll make this part two. So, like I
Yeah.
said, I think the audience is dying to hear about, you know, your experiences and your encounters with Tusi and Viola Davis, like how those
Oh my
experiences
God.
were, like what did you learn? Like just tell us about the journey of working alongside these incredible industry giants.
You know, you always hold such a people that appear in television as like superheroes, you know.
Oh yeah, you put them on
You
this
always,
pedestal.
yeah, you put them so high because you are seeing them in this little box, like, you know. But what you are when you really seeing them, the reason why you get so, you put them in such a position is not because of what you are seeing that they are, it's what they portray when they are being who they are being, when they are in front of you in that little box, you know.
Mm.
It's what really makes the difference. But yes, see, Jesus Christ, meeting them in person, guys, meeting them in person, it's it's wordless. Don't know if this word exists, but
It's just indescribable, right? There are just no words that can describe the
yeah,
experience. Yeah, and you didn't only meet them; you worked with them on set
I
and
did.
on
You
big
know,
projects. Yeah.
yeah, I got the opportunity, you know. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to spend time with them, you know, getting to know the human beings that they are, to
Mhm.
see how can because we, yes, we are all extraordinaries in someone's eyes, but when we are around people for such a long time, we become vulnerable and we become ordinary somehow, you know. And ordinary is not boring, guys. Ordinary is the most beautiful thing that you can be, because you are so appreciative of life. You are grateful for living, you know. And that's everything that I'm telling you right now. It's exactly what they passed me without even saying a word, just being themselves, you know, pushing to become better, encouraging others to become better, smiling, make small gestures, just as like touching your hair and saying that it's puffy, you
Yeah.
know, when you're having such a bad day. You know,
Yeah.
this that we call little things, those little things, when you add and add and add, it makes a
A big
big
impact, a big
one.
one.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
You know, like working with them and seeing them, like I got the opportunity to see, like, for my career side, like how they get into characters, how do they interact with people around them when they are in characters, where they are being themselves, you know, or where they are being the version of they themselves living life, you know, not when they are being themselves performing.
Oh, not when they're playing characters on TV, huh?
Yes, because
Yeah.
when you are performing doesn't mean that you are not yourself. You are just showing you just have different tools that you
Yeah.
can portray messages to
Yeah.
people, you
Yeah.
know. And it's incredible, homie. Like, it's incredible to see how people can master such art, you
Yeah.
know. And they still struggle, you know. They're human beings. They feel
Yeah.
pain, they feel tired too,
Yeah.
you know. They complain as well, you know. They feel sad. They do have bad days too,
Mm.
you know. And you, for me, being such a fan, you know, I need and being around them and knowing who they are, I have to master myself. So when I'm around them, I make them as not as comfortable, but as plain. I make the environment as plain as possible so they can be themselves, you know?
Mm. I think
So,
that's
yeah,
massively important, you know, like we admire these people because they're incredibly uh talented, um and not just talent, they work extremely hard to master the craft of acting that we've both
yeah,
fallen in love with. And although we might hold them in such high esteem, it's important, I guess. Yes, you can be a fan and say and talk about how much you love their work, and also just treat them as a human being, you know?
yes.
Um, because I think it does get to the point where people think, you know, you're this larger than life character
Mm-hmm.
and you can do anything and everything you want. But I guess it's more about realizing that I'm just a person like you who can do extraordinary things. And if I can do them, you can do them. And then
Yeah,
just interacting with them on just a human level, like you said, just be like plain and a comfortable environment of
yeah,
treating them as other people, and then they'll pour into you all their experiences and the things that they've been through.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, something very interesting happened. Like, I got to work, and Viola was sitting there and she was talking to someone.
Hmm.
And I went and I greet her and I asked her how she's doing. And she says, I'm good, I'm good. And then as soon as I turn around, she's standing up and she's like, and I turn and then she's like, I'm good, I'm good. And then she's like, I say I'm good and I stand up and I can barely move my body.
Like, oh my God,
And
you're so,
ah,
you're talking to
friend,
me. Yeah.
it's it's incredible, you know, especially like spending time, like around all these incredible people, you know, Tuso, Lashana,
Oh yeah, because
and
you also
working,
spent time with Tucson Baby as
yeah,
well, right?
Tana,
Oh
working
yeah.
with them and
She's also
like
an
seeing
incredible
how they
actress as
are,
well.
you know, how they are themselves when they are rehearsing, you know.
Wow.
It's incredible. It's
And this is so crazy. It's like crazy that a person I know literally has Viola, Pearl Tusi, and Tucson Beru's numbers in her contact. Like if she just presses a button, you can be literally on a call with Tuso. It's
oh
just
my God.
insane. But I'm so glad you had those experiences, homie. And it's also
Yeah,
great knowing that these people that we look up to in the industry are also really kind people,
yeah,
and very, humble, and, show a lot of humility in their interactions. They treat us all the
yeah,
same. They don't come off as, like, oh, I'm better than you, or I'm too famous to be talked to directly. No, man, like you ain't God, and they just
yeah.
interact with you at a very human level. It's very nice to know
You know,
that.
yeah,
you know
it's a lot, you know.
Mm,
We also need to understand when we are around people that work so hard. Let's put it that way,
yeah.
guys. People that work when we're around people that work hard, yes, they wanna be acknowledged of their hard work. But
Mhm.
also we must not forget that they know they work hard.
They
We don't
know.
have to constantly tell them how hard they work. You know, we
Exactly.
don't have
Yeah.
to remind them how hard they work. They know.
Yeah.
Imagine you have someone digging a hole for a whole day, and the whole day you go to this guy and you say, wow, your hole looks nice. 5 minutes later, that's such a great hole. Oh
Yeah.
wow, you're doing such a good job. Well done holding that spade. uh, like, I appreciate your encouragement, but sometimes
Let's
the
just talk.
encouragement isn't
Yeah.
necessary, you know. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
it's
it gets too much, maybe.
unusable.
Exactly. It gets
You
to the
know.
point where it's too much. Like, just sit down. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah,
Let's talk as
yeah,
people.
yeah. And also, like, we also need to address that. Yes, acknowledging people for their hard work is good, but the constant acknowledgement can turn into self-doubt, you
Overdose.
know?
You don't want to overdo
Yeah,
it, huh?
overdose. You overdose and you start questioning, am I
Yeah.
really, really, really that good? Or people
Yeah.
just saying that so I can feel better, you know?
Yeah.
So we need to know how to balance us as encouragers and trying to be inspiring people that are working hard. Also need to acknowledge that they know they are working hard, one, and two, the constant acknowledgement or the constant praise. We never know when it's time to praise, you know. Sometimes you people say that, oh, not, but you're saying that I mustn't praise. No, I say that you should acknowledge people of their hard work, but also you never know when is the right time, because you might come and say, oh, you're doing such a great job, but you might not know what I'm going through at this very moment, you know. And I will try my best to be conscious and appreciate your acknowledgement. But if it's a constant one that I can see that you are just praising me so you can feel praise, it is an insult, you know?
Yeah. Basically, doing it to the point where it's disingenuous
Yeah.
is,
You're doing it for yourself, not to make that person feel good.
yeah, and that's important for all of us to realize,
Mm-hmm.
even for myself. It's something that I have to be conscious of, and also learn
Yeah,
and remind myself of. All this,
yeah,
like life is just, it's a
yeah,
constant battle of these things and learning.
yeah.
Yeah.
For example, one thing, homie, I get so freaking upset in the gym when I go do my conditioning.
Mhm.
What irritates me the most is when I am training, and you know, when you scan through the gym, you have your peripheral eye, and
Yeah, yeah, your
you
peripheral
look around
vision.
and you see
Yeah,
what is around you and who is around you.
yeah.
And it's so irritating to see somebody staring at me for a very long period of time when they could be using what I am doing as an inspiration to better themselves.
Yeah.
Don't stare at me. Don't go to my Instagram and spend 30 minutes on Instagram and looking, or not even me, anyone. Don't waste your time and checking how amazing people are. You are wasting your time.
Yeah, it's basically taking away from the time you can
Yes.
use to do that for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah,
it, appreciate it, praise it if it's needed, take it and put it in you.
exactly. Like,
That's the recipe for living.
we appreciate your admiration, but please just look at me, get inspired, and go do it. Not just like
Yeah.
stare at me like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I'm human too. Like, get inspired.
Yeah.
Let's go after this
Yeah.
together. And
Yeah.
I can imagine why that's your biggest pet peeve in the gym. Um, it does get annoying. It does get annoying.
Yeah. But people are getting more used to, I think us human beings, human livings, are getting used to being more open and conscious about themselves, so therefore they are being more open and conscious about the world, you
Mm,
know.
yeah,
That's why you see more people looking after the planet. You see more people looking after themselves now, but you also see
absolutely.
a lot of people watching. But it's unfortunate because most of the time the watchers have no other choice. That's why we need the people that have the possibility to inspire and do something while you are inspiring. You shall not as hesitate to do so, because there is people that need it. It's just they don't have resources for it
Exactly.
you
Um,
know
yeah. And
and even if it's,
even
yeah,
if, like you said, I just want to add on to
yeah,
the resources bit. Me and my uncle talk. We have this term. We call it wigging it, right? Like a wig,
wigging it.
wigging it, and that's not wig as in WIG for your head. It's WW triple WYG. Work with what you got. Wig it. You might not
Oh,
have
wig.
all the resources, like, but wig it. When women say,
Yeah,
I'm wigging it, girl, like
yeah.
I'd be telling you, like, man, I'm just wigging it. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You're not wearing a wig. I'm like, nah, I'm talking about triple WYG, working with what you got, working with what I
Yeah,
got, so you can
yeah,
even
yeah,
if you say I or you can still pronounce the Y as an I and the I
yeah,
as an I. It still be wigging it, you know.
yeah. Wigging. Wigging it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on my wig
Yeah.
now. I'm gonna put on my
But
wig.
homie, that's the thing. We shall wig it,
Yeah,
but it's unfortunate that not everybody has this sense. They don't know. People don't know. People are literally, for example, let's put that way here in Africa.
hmm
Let's put it that way in Angola. You know, people are believers that all that they know is all there is around them, and that's are their resources. But they do not believe in their resources because they don't believe in themselves, because there is no one that can believe, that can tell them, hey, you are doing good,
yeah,
you know so what we need when we say inspire, we need the acknowledgement of people that are really working hard, the bottom line, the ones that are really trying to come from wherever they are and to
yeah,
get somewhere.
yeah. And I think it's important, being open, realizing that there's more than what is around you, and also making it our responsibility. And we're not just talking about people who've done stuff. The fact is, there are people who've done more than you, and that you've done more than some other people. So it's
Yeah,
basically everyone's responsibility to go to those other people that you've done more than and show them that more is possible, and
yeah,
inspire, Just
Yeah.
don't post on Instagram because you want to be seen. Use that, go to other people and say, hey
Yeah.
guys, I've returned from my
You know,
healing journey.
you have to really have to kill your ego.
Oh
Bro,
yeah.
you really have to kill your ego. You have to. I went through that when I was going through the existential crisis. I even went through uh, uh, um, the ego rise. You
Yeah.
know, how dare life? How can I work so hard and yet there is still people in the world that has things way easier than me?
Yeah.
It is life is unfair.
Oh yeah. That's another
You know,
mindset trap to fall into where
yeah.
you think,
That's
oh, life is not fair.
that's what I was thinking.
Mm.
And what I'm going through right now is there is a lot, yes, there is a lot of people that have way more than me and way easier than me, but there is a lot of people that have it way harder. And I will help those that have it way harder to make it easier.
Yeah, it's all about perspective, eh? People think
Yeah, yeah,
that you start getting stuck up on, oh, the people who have it easier. I'm like, stop
yeah,
chasing those people. You've achieved X, Y,
yeah.
and Z. Now help the people who have less than you. That is the goal, not to say there's somebody else who has more. You focus on the wrong thing. It's to bring other
Mm-hmm.
people up and not to compare yourself
Yeah,
to the ones who are doing more. Again, see people as inspiration and not comparing ourselves. That's
yeah. And
goes back to what we were
understand
saying in the
everyone's
beginning.
point of view.
Yeah.
Understand everyone's point of view. And what I'm realizing now is like we used to have this mindset of six, the I see six and you see nine, and that's all there is.
Oh
No,
yeah.
it's not like that anymore. It's I see six and you see a karma, and that person sees a smile, and this other person sees a freaking meteorite.
Yeah.
We need to understand that there is different perspectives from one's point of view,
Yeah, and I
you
think
know?
that's the one of the most difficult things we grapple with as people, accepting
Yeah.
people's different points of view.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I see six, you see a meteorite, cool, great.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you. You know,
Yeah.
doesn't mean we have to disagree. As long as I also like to add to like stuff like this when it comes to perspective is don't just swallow the narrative. Do your research, and then
Mm-hmm.
we can only give you the tools and you come to the decision by yourself. you know
Yeah.
so it's not like trying to force our way of living or our mindset on people. We're just sharing you
Yeah.
our tools and our journey. You can do the research, you can try it out. If it doesn't work, great. If it works, also great. That's all we're
Bro, it
saying.
works. Don't cut
Yeah,
this part out. It works.
it
It's
helps.
proven. People are living. Come
Exactly.
on, guys. Come on. Literally, I wish my parents, I honestly wish my parents gave me everything I know. I really wish I didn't get it. I didn't have to get it for myself, you know,
Mm.
living, being, knowing who I am. I really wish I was born in a place that I was supposed to be a software developer already. It was meant to be, you know. But again, it's not where I come from. And that's the thing. Like in the beginning of our conversation, I did mention the fact that where I come from is really harsh. But at the same time, where I come from is really compassionate as well.
And there's so much
And
beauty there too.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and there's the good and there's the bad in it. And when we come into terms with all that there is makes it one, then we get to the same point.
Exactly. Absolutely. Man, homie, they've just been so many life lessons I've learned from you, things I've revisited, things you've challenged me to rethink and think about again and some more. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, I just love and appreciate you. And I loved learning from your journey. So thank you. But just before we wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
how would do you have like could you sum up the key lessons from the trauma you experienced and your journey in general? Like, what would you like to share with the listeners? The major ones. It could be three, it could be
So,
four. Yeah, as many as you wish.
actually, I wanna say, let's sum up everything, and um, I wanna share this. There was an episode that Jordan Peterson was asked, "How you doing?" Actually, the episode say, like the guy said, "What will be the best question to ask Jordan Peterson?" And he said, "How you doing?"
Oh.
And the guy asked, "How you doing?" And he had a moment and he said, "Happily, terribly." Yeah,
Which just sums up life, right?
yeah. And the guy asked him why. And he said, "It's beautiful. I'm happy and it's beautiful. Life is beautiful to see that there is so many people that I inspire. But it's also very terrible to know that there are so many people that have to go through the same things that I've been through so they can get inspired."
Yeah,
So
happily, terribly.
yeah, that's the lesson I take, the summarizing everything is, as much as I love inspiring people, and as much as I love being inspired by others, it hurts, it breaks my heart to know that to live the good, we have to go through the bad. And
Yeah.
it's an unfortunate, but it's a cycle that in order for us to achieve full happiness, we need to be content and we need to accept it. And therefore, when you go through the bad, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is the bad phase. I shall acknowledge it, because what is after the bad? The good.
The good.
Okay. Now this is a good phase. We shall enjoy it. What is after the good? The bad.
Yeah. The series, the
If you
series
accept
of good
it,
and bad.
yeah, if you accept it, when you going through the good and the bad is coming, not saying that you are predicting to be bad, which you are if you really think about it, but
Mhm.
it's just how it is, you know. And saying the bad comes, it's not something that would change your life completely. Let's say you won the world championship, but your uncle passed away because you didn't give him breakfast, something like that. but but what I'm trying to say is, when you are going through the good and a bad thing happens, you will know that you shall not stress so much. You shall not suffer anxiety so often, because after the bad, the good comes again.
That is so powerful, homie. That is so
Yeah,
powerful. You remind me of the actor Tom Hanks. Tom,
really. He's such
eh,
a legend.
Forrest, yeah, Tom Hanks is amazing, and he said something similar to what you just said. He was, I think it was on an actors round table,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, you know, this too shall pass. You know,
Yeah,
you're going through a period where you can book a job. This too shall pass. You're going through a
yeah.
period where you're making money. This too shall pass. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just knowing that life is all those things at once,
Mm-hmm.
the light and the darkness, you know,
Yeah.
the obstacles in the road, the challenges, it's all those things.
Yeah.
And
100%, friend.
the best word you used there was acceptance. Accepting. Just accept
Mm-hmm.
it. Move through the
Let
bad
it go.
periods, let it
That's the
go,
word. Let it go.
let it
You
go,
know,
let it go.
we
Yeah.
went to African Burn with a friend of mine, my housemate. We
Uh-huh.
went to African Burn, and on the first day we got there, I lost my toiletry bag that I take. I have some anxiety medication in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
To help me. Like it's not prescriptive, it's just like herbal and like to help me relax and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost it.
Yeah.
And I freaked out a little bit. And my friend just said, let it go.
Let
It
it
was
go.
not meant for you to take this here. Let it go.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't need it anymore.
Wow.
You know,
It
a
happened.
week
It happened for a
because,
reason.
yeah, you know, I didn't have to worry about it.
That is so
And
powerful.
for a second, I didn't even think of it, you know.
Yeah. Like
Only on the
after
last day when I was coming back, that's when I thought of it.
you're like, oh, actually, I forgot that I had a toiletry bag, and it's
Yeah,
crazy.
and the interesting part is the toiletry bag was in the bus that we were coming back. So we found the bag. And as soon as we found the bag, I had an anxiety attack. How weird.
Happily, terribly.
Happily, terribly.
It just it's life is interesting like that.
It is.
I guess then you realize that it's not an inside thing, it's an outside thing.
Yeah,
You're fine. And then when you
yeah,
see that thing triggering, it's like it
yeah.
programs, when I see this is how my body's supposed to react. So it really becomes like,
Hmm.
I'm not dismissing that there is a medical side to it. I'm just talking about how sometimes it might not be as deep as we think, and it's just
Yes,
triggered by our thoughts.
yes,
And you've told
yes.
yourself this story, and we all know that our bodies listen to us on a cellular level, and they will respond according to your thoughts and what you say to yourself. So
Hmm.
it's like that. I mean, I think it's what we do in acting as well. You trick your body into thinking you're experiencing trauma, and then you put up a performance. And then you have to go for therapy later because your body can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not.
Yeah,
So you can think something into existence. So if you can think it happens on the bad side, surely you can use it to manifest what you want in life. You can use it for the good.
definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. It's a superpower, friend.
Yeah,
It's a
that's also another
superpower. If people
superpower.
realize that they can manifest anything they want to,
Yeah,
oh, the world will be so good. Because when you realize that, you realize that you have such a power, and you being a human being, you will never use that power to destroy where you live,
exactly.
you know?
Instead, like project what you want to see and the change you
Not in
want
this
to see.
generation.
Yeah.
This
Man.
generation that we live in right now, us, bro,
Well,
wait until you know what another thing that I was talking to one of my best friends, and she asked me, what makes you sad the most?
hmm,
And I said, what makes me sad the most is realize that in order for my lineage to progress, the lineage before me shall end.
it's crazy, right?
That- That's what makes me sad the most. What makes me sad the most is, I used to be scared of losing my family. We spoke about this before.
Yeah.
Remember, I
Yeah, I
say I'm
remember.
scared of being alone. I'm scared of losing my family. And when I came into the realization that in order for me to create a good lineage for what is coming, the lineage before me has to end.
Yeah, it has, and you have to pass on
Yeah,
the upgraded version, you know?
yeah. And you
And
have to accept that. And when you accept that, oh gosh, I accepted. I didn't take it so well, honestly. I
mhm,
really struggled with it. but it's a mission. You
Yeah,
have to see it as a mission.
exactly.
You
God
know,
spirit.
you
It's
need
a
to
daily thing.
create
Yeah.
a better generation. You
Yeah.
know, and it's not saying that now it's your duty to have 15 children so you can create a new family. No, but there is people that are your age around you too that need help. So use that. If you don't want to have children, use that. You know, inspire people that need inspiration.
Absolutely. Man, this has been one hell of a show. One hell
Right?
of a conversation. It's been a
We can
big
go. We can
one.
go like this forever.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It really, really means a lot. And I appreciate it so much. And if you love the episode, please like, comment, tell us what you loved about it. We'd really love to interact with you guys more. Comment, slide into the DMs if you have to. And lastly, guys, before I go, please like and follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Superhero Origin Stories.